I'm Huples Cat. A few months ago I was on the Canadian Red Cross site and I found something that really excited me. Their shop has finally reopened and it had a whole bunch of interesting prepping stuff in it and bargains. I'm going to have to get rid of the sunlight. Red Cross is one of the very few charities I actually support every year because I think they do really good work, and I think that sort of work's very important, and the governments aren't really doing it, so you have to support local charities that do, and Red Cross is often very local. That said, I got this box. What's in it? An arm splint, or a leg splint. A series of 6 splints are made out of wood. You can make this type of thing yourself, but I haven't chosen to. I'm really happy I have this. Not one, but 2 of these at a really kind of decent price. Each one of these is 410 calories, so that's about a day's lifeboat rations for one person each one. And the ones I already have are getting into their 2nd decade. I'm not altogether sure I'll even be able to eat them in a major emergency, so I figured it was time to start replacing them. I'm not going to throw them out. If they're 40 years old, I'm still going to try to use them if there's no food to be had. But these are fresh. They were manufactured in January of 2024 and they'll expire in January of 2029. I'd keep these for a decade or more past that and not worry too much about it. Now, when I was an RN, I have a professional stethoscope, or Littmann. If you get a Littmann, don't get the cardiac one, get the Littmann 2. That's like the best stethoscope you can get if you're professional and you listen to lung, bowel and heart sounds a lot. And if you're a true professional, you'll also be doing manual blood pressures because most nurses these days have no idea how to do it. But I decided for my first aid kit, I'd like one of these. This is a really cheap, almost disposable stethoscope. Of course I wouldn't dispose of it. It has a dual head. You have to put it together. Now, why is a dual head important? You have a big diaphragm there and you have a small one there. And you turn this to decide which of the 2 you're going to listen through. Absolutely great for heart sounds, absolutely great for lung sounds, absolutely terrific. Glad I got this, really cheap price. Throw in my first aid kit and forget about it and hope I never have to use it. And don't worry, anybody can put this together. I was also really excited to be able to pick up these at a very reasonable price. I have not seen these outside of the operating rooms at the hospital I used to work in. These actually are bandages, but they have metal inside them, so if the bandage slips inside the body, X-ray will pick it up. Obviously of no real use in an SHTF, but in the here and now, if I'm faced with a major traumatic casualty and I screw up, it'd be nice to know that they can find it on X-ray. There's assorted sizes. They just look like regular band-aids and they feel like regular band-aids, but they will show up on X-ray. So I got 50 of these smaller ones, and these will be least useful for me in an apocalypse. The big ones are better, and when I open it up, you can actually open it up like this. Get the edge together. Inside of this is sterile. So when you open it, it opens like that. And this is beautiful. You see that kick up there? That's exactly what you want in a professional bandage. So when you're handling the bandage, you don't have to touch the inside of the bandage. You just touch the outside and pull it off and decide where you're going to put it, and you put it on like that. And you never have to touch the bandage. It's a beautiful idea. Beautiful. Love this. And of course, remember when you put it on, click over one of the sides like that. So when you put it on, oh, this is a really nice fabric bandage. Really nice feel. And just take it off like that. Then I got not 1, but 2 packages of mixed stuff in plastic bags. It's always nice to keep your stuff in plastic bags in case it rains or it falls in the river. I was introduced to these when my little dog had his toe amputated. These are absolutely brilliant and they're very useful, and you can actually reuse them, and they are great for protecting joints and stopping things scratching at the skin. Just love this type of a flexible bandage. It sticks to itself. Not 1, not 2, but 3 bandages. You can't have too many elastic bandages. These are absolutely great for protecting joints that have been broken or have sprained from actually moving, so you can protect them. They're also great for covering up areas that are hard to bandage, like heads and ears. Great, have as many elastic bandages as you can reasonably afford. Last but not least is this package. The ability to drink sterile water is absolutely important. The ability in first aid is to actually irrigate wounds with sterile water is also extremely important. Therefore, this is a product for drinking, but it's also a product for first aid. Most first aid kits online won't have aquatabs or similar. They all should. You need to be able to pour copious, large amounts of fresh water that's sterile into wounds. Kitty claims I snore. That's slander. However, earplugs are always a good idea in a first aid kit, because you don't want to damage your hearing if you're out there chainsawing or you're fighting or whatever the reason the loud noises are happening. Earplugs are a good addition to a first aid kit. They also help casualties sleep in noisy environments because sleep is very important to recovery. I got another finger splint for a broken finger or a broken toe. Absolutely beautiful thing to have. Glad I got it. I needed these. My other one, after 20 years, died and it wasn't reusable. A flashlight, 2 of them. This has a neat feature that almost all medical flashlights do have. It has pupil size. Big and not moving is bad, small and not moving is bad, but you want to gauge the size of the pupils over time if there's been a serious head injury. That helps you look at the size of the pupil and record it properly. Pupils equal and reacting, size 5 is good. When you look at it, they're a size 5. When you shine the light in, they become small if you're healthy. Has a little piece of plastic on here, which you will remove, and then you do this. Eyeball time. So you cover, when you do this, you look at both eyes. You don't use the flashlight, you look at both eyes, you're looking for deformities, difference between the pupil size, anything at all. Then what you do is you have them close an eye, or you cover the eye, and you shine not directly at it, but from the side, and you want to see the eye move. The pupil should contract. Then you want to wait a minute. What you should see is this pupil contract to direct light, and that's perfect. What you should also see is the other pupil also respond, because we're not that smart and it's not able to figure out it's light in here, but not here. They both should contract. If the nerves are intact and everything's working, that's what will happen. All right, ready? And you should see this contract and this contract. If you didn't, I need to go to a doctor. Really happy to have this. This probably will last me for decades. Put this back on here so it won't accidentally engage. And what powers this? Quite simply, it's a little battery. AAA, easily available. Should you keep batteries inside of equipment? I would usually say no. Depends on where they're being stored. In this case, I'm taking the battery out of this one for storage and putting it in here like this, because I want to make sure that the battery doesn't discharge over time, because they are cheap batteries, and wreck the equipment. The other one inside the seal box I will leave as it is, so I think I have one I can just grab and just use without any messing around in an emergency. I also got this very cheap first aid kit, so I could do a review on it. This is my super duper first aid kit. Medications are kept mostly elsewhere, and I've been through this before, and I have to load it with my stuff that I have from here. So first things are a stethoscope. I'm going to have that handy so I can check the breathing. I have lots and lots of bandages already, but what the heck. Put the splint here in the trauma pack, and the big splint there as well, so I know where it is. Flashlight. Flashlight. Keep them separate so they're not going to affect each other if that one melts. Bandages. Water. Another splint. And hearing. Job done. Well, thanks for watching. What piece of item in this kit for first aid were you surprised at? What piece do you think I should have in this first aid kit that I don't have? And what do you think about the prices? I will throw up the Canadian Red Cross's site. I don't know if the American Red Cross does a similar thing, but it's worth checking out alternative sources of prepping supplies. If you just go to the usual people who sell the usual stuff from the usual sources, you're constraining yourself to what you can get to protect you and your family and your community in the event of a major disaster. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Toodles. This has been a 2024 Well Prepared Terrier production.